Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's me, Mary Jane. Anyways, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my people, my peoples. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Atlanta Housewives Season 3 Reunion. Let me tell you straight up and down, I should have just went to 45.3 and started the video from there and not watched the full reunion. For real. I think I just wasted 45 minutes of my life, 50 minutes of my life. But anyways, let's get into it. So anyways, we start off with Bob. Basically, they start off with Bob. Bob looks good. He looks like he's lost weight. He wants to stay around to be here for his kids. So he wants to be healthy. He wants to take care of himself, basically. And that's good, right? So anyways, and then, they talk about, Bob, your behaviors, the things that you said when you was on a trip to Maui, and Bob apologized for it, and he said that he was wrong and he wished he would have never did this shit, and he's embarrassed because if he wants to get any type of funding or be a radio TV personality, if he just wants to be in entertainment, they might pass on Bob because he beats women, basically. So anyways, they asked Sheree, do you feel like Bob's apology is real and do you accept it? And Sheree says, yes, I do accept it, and I think he's finally being real this time, basically. And so Andy's like, what about the kids? Have you talked to the kids about it? And Bob is like, no, I have not talked to the kids about it. And I'm going to need to, basically, because it's my fault. So I got to own up to it and let the kids know that I was a terrible father, a terrible husband, basically. And Bob also says Sheree was a wonderful woman. She is a wonderful woman. And she's a great mother, basically. And he wished he would have never did her wrong, basically. Because now he's paying for it and the media is going after him because the people that love Sheree don't love Bob, basically. That's what Andy is saying. So then they do a little survey around the room Andy asks the question, how are you going to teach your son not to treat women the way that you treated Sheree? So Bob says, well, you know what? I'm going to make sure his woman walks beside him. I had Sheree walk behind me, basically, and teach him to love and cherish the woman that he's with, basically. Them are some good words for these abusers out here, basically. And so, Candy was like, I can't believe he said this. Candy was like, sometimes you got to see yourself to see who you are and what you are. And that is so true. That's like one of the realest facts that came on the show today, is like sometimes when you see yourself being filmed or you see yourself, period, you understand who you are and you can see your faults. You can see your flaws, basically. So anyway, that was real. And then, Peter was like, yo, Peter looked nice, by the way. Bob looked nice. Todd looked nice as well. Shamia, I seen her look way better. But the dress was nice, and her hair, I seen her hair look way better than before, but it still looked good because she's still beautiful. So anyways, we get to, Peter Thomas is like, if you wasn't my friend, I wanted to punch you in your face. I wanted to beat you down. I wanted to hit you and hit you and hit you, basically. And, Bob just smiles. And everyone talks about Bob's personality, but basically, we didn't know he liked to beat women. Anyway, so moving on from that, then they talk about Peter and Cynthia relationship, and basically, Cynthia admits that she was a bad wife. She didn't know how to stick through things with Peter, basically. She never had to struggle so hard, but when she was with Peter, she had to really struggle. Like, she had to really climb her and strap on them Timbs and lace them up, basically, because she was like, I couldn't deal with situations like that. And I totally get that. Like, if you're with somebody and every time you turn around, like, everything's happened, everything's negative, and basically if you feel like these negative situations can be avoided and you keep putting us in these negative situations and these hard times keep coming and coming and coming, then you know what? Maybe if the person feels like the situation is always going to be like this because you're not learning from your mistakes, then boom, they're going to bounce, especially if you feel like, I could do better by my damn self. And basically that's how Cynthia felt. And Peter was like, yo, you should have stuck it out with me. I'm a man from the country. I'm Jamaican. All I know is rough shit. I'm from the school of hard knocks, baby. And I was going to show you the world, but it's going to take us some time to get there. Cynthia was like, nah, I don't want to see the world. I'm good. So anyways, and basically, Peter, there was like, the question was, does Peter and Cynthia talk? No, they don't really talk. Peter says he talks more to Cynthia's daughter than he talks to Cynthia, basically. Peter says he's dating. Cynthia says she's dating. So basically they're moving forward. And then there was a question asked. I kind of wanted to know this question, if Cynthia had sex with Peter and Maui, and everybody says no, they didn't have sex, basically. And basic question was like, yo, Cynthia, you didn't want to have Peter, you didn't want to have that tall, dark chocolate, fermenting chocolate at all? You didn't want none of that good loving? And Cynthia was, and so then Peter answered the question like, basically, I wanted it all or nothing. And he was like, I don't want half of her. I don't want part of her. I want all of her. I'm not just going to have sex with her and then walk away and it'd be like some booty call. Nah, I wanted all of her. If I can't have her totally and completely and she's mine, then I don't want it at all. And I totally get that, because sometimes, you just can't have sex with people, especially if you love them and you want to be with them. So you have to walk away, because once you lay down with them in the bed, you're going to want to have them 24/7. You're going to want that old thing back. You're going to want that old relationship back. You're going to want to start building. Your hopes get up high. So basically, to not put yourself in a situation, don't be a booty call. If you can't deal with, okay, we smash and you bounce, basically. So it is what it is. So then basically Peter also, confronts Porsha, talking about like, Porsha said that I was with these 18 and 19 year olds and I was fucking them and I was fucking my staff. My staff was getting paid to, they was getting paid by dick, basically. And see, now we know that Porsha was a bald-faced motherfucking lie. If we didn't ever know she was a bald-faced lie, we know she's a bald motherfucking face lie tonight, because that's the same fucking thing she said about Todd when she met up with Candy, saying that Todd is in New York under a different name and he's meeting up with women, basically. So that is Porsha's character, to sabotage people's relationship and lie to your motherfucking face, and I liked Porsha when she first came on this show, when she was married to Cordell and all this other stuff. I was hoping that she was gonna win, even when they got divorced. But this season, my eyes are open. They are not closed. They ain't wide shut. They are wide open. And Porsha, you're very much of a disappointment, and somebody else needs to have your spot on the Housewives, basically. So anyways, like, I was just so disappointed with these lies. Like, come on, you're just gonna lie on people right in front of their face, sabotage their character, their business, and you tried to break up Cynthia's marriage. Now you tried to break up Candy's and Todd's marriage. That just shows that you're a conniving, low down, dirty person. You ain't even trying to sleep with a motherfucker. Well, you was trying to sleep with Todd and Candy, but basically you just go back and you just spread rumors. You're like one of them friends that nobody like to see come around, because every time they come around, they got a story to tell you, a lie to tell you, to try to get you souped up. So anyways, moving on. So anyways, we find out that Todd is not there. And, Peter's like, why is Todd not here? Todd dumped that bitch. And, Porsha says that, oh, he's supporting me. He's just not here. No, he didn't want to be embarrassed any fucking more on TV. You and Phaedra just totally fucking embarrassing. And when Shamia said that Phaedra was trying to get with her husband, and the way that she was taunting her body and showing her body, whatever, that is the same exact thing that Phaedra did and Maui when she went into Porsha and Todd's dressing room with that G-string on, talking about she hasn't worn it since she was 18 years old, bending over, putting lotion on her body, sticking her body out, talking about threesomes on the beach or whatever. Like, same exact behavior. So we know Shamia is telling the truth. The proof is in the motherfucking pudding tonight, baby. It is in there. These lies, these lying heifers ain't getting away with nothing. And then also, we got to talk about, how everybody was saying that Kenya is the African, she's the one dating Africans. She's the one going over Africa. She's the one getting paid by the Africans. Basically, now we know the Africans shit goes with Porsha and Shamia. They know the Africans because that was brought up tonight. And where what's her name? Phaedra was telling Shamia and Porsha at Porsha's mother's house that please hook me up with an African, a rich one as that. So if she's going over there talking about hooking me up with an African with Porsha, Shamia, that means that the lie about Kenya going out there to Africa and trying to get Africans and all this other stuff, it's another motherfucking lie. So these lies are being busted wide the motherfucking open tonight. So it just is what it is. These lying motherfucking bitches. For a storyline, you try to destroy lives, marriages, and friendships and reputation just so you can look good on TV. But tonight you don't look good at all. So anyways, we find out Todd has a job. Basically, that's what Porsha says. Oh, he has a job now, whatever. Bitch, he don't want you no more. And I know Todd wishes he never quit his job in Washington, D.C. to be with you. But at least he knows now, because if he didn't quit his job to be with you or whatever, he wouldn't have known what type of person you really was. And he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed. Doing that, man. Like, that's a good black man. You trying to do in and do wrong, taking care of his kids, holding down business and working in the political world in Washington, and you're gonna try to embarrass him on national TV over and over and over, especially with that prenup, that baby nut. Terrible. I know Todd was like, I can't believe I put myself in this situation. So anyways, moving forward, Peter is like, Porsha, where is Todd at or whatever, and so Peter was like, that fucking baby nut is totally ridiculous. That is just sickening, and that's terrible. And so the questions asked to Phaedra, what did you think about that baby nut? What did you think about Porsha not wanting to have a child? I'm trying to tell Porsha not to have a child or whatever, to be a single. You didn't want her to be a single mother or whatever. And so Phaedra's like, I know it's hard to be a single mother, basically, and I didn't want her to go down that road. And so that's when Peter jumps in. Peter was like, why you tell her that? You know what I mean? And then Peter was like, ain't you divorced? She was, I'm divorced now, right? And, Apollo's not there at home with them kids, right? Yep. And you're doing it by yourself, right? Yep. And you're doing a good job, right? Yep. Porsha could have did the same thing. Why is she listening to you, basically? Listening to Phaedra is the worst thing you can ever do in your life. So anyways, Peter was basically just pointing out that, things are not going to be perfect all the time. Sometimes there's going to be difficulties, but doesn't mean that you pass up on the opportunity to have a child or be a mother because of you want things to be so perfect and set, because nothing's going to be perfect and set, basically. And so, at that point, Peter is like, you know what? I can't sit here and listen to Phaedra, and I can't sit here and listen to Porsha because they're full of shit. And I don't want to listen to nothing these bitches got to say. I'm out, deuces. And he bounced. And I wish I would have did the same thing and just skipped to 45.3 of the video of part 3 of the reunion instead of watching this whole thing. So anyways, Peter said deuces. He got the fuck up out of there. He bounced. And so Todd left the stage, and so did Sheree's husband, Bob, he left the stage as well. So anyways, Porsha is just like crazy. So, one of the questions was to Sheree, who do you think throw the most shade behind people's back or whatever? Who you think throws the most shade secretly? And Sheree was like, Phaedra. And then everybody was like, yep. Behind the back shade is Phaedra, basically. Yes, behind the back. She would talk and stab you in the back like it ain't nobody's business and laugh in your face like it ain't nobody's business. So basically, we know now that, Phaedra was calling the city on Candy to make sure her restaurant didn't open. We know that for sure now. So anyways, Porsha was like, so one of the questions was to Porsha was like, how come if Shami is your best friend and everything, how come you didn't stand up for her? How come you chose Phaedra's side, basically? And Porsha was like, well, you would think I would defend Shamia and I would be her friend or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm liking Phaedra Parks, and that's who I want to be with. And, basically, then Sheree talks about, you know, Porsha busting it wide open, and Sheree was like, yeah, it was just Shay, because, you know, Porsha, you be talking about that you the biggest thought around here, whatever, and you can bust it wide open. So basically, I just repeated shit that you done said to me on camera, motherfucker. So whatever, and so it's just like, you know, it's just a bunch of shit going on basically. And so you have and Kenya points out, like, how come you didn't defend Shamia? How come you defended Phaedra? And Porsha really has no answer. She just really says, well, I didn't do this. Well, I didn't do that. And I didn't think like this. And it was like that. And it was like this. And so basically the truth hurts, pointing out to Porsha that she did not have Shamia's back. She chose sides, and she chose Phaedra's side basically. And so Porsha is telling Kenya to shut up, be quiet, because like supposedly Kenya interrupted Porsha, and Kenya was like, I'm not going to be quiet. Ain't nobody going to tell me to shut the fuck up, because I will get the fuck up out of here. I'll get off this stage, and nobody going to do that shit to me. Not tonight, not today, not now, and not ever, motherfuckers. So basically, and then Kenya goes, you know, that's why you look like Elvis. You see that dress, you see that hair, she looks like Elvis. And I got to agree with you 100%. And then Shamia is close to Todd. She's close to Candy and all that other good stuff. So Phaedra, why was Phaedra co-signing that, you know, Candy was sleeping with Shamia, basically doing this right here or whatever, basically. So now we know that we knew that it was Phaedra that said all that bullshit. She was the one that was spreading all the rumors. She's the one that was feeding Porsha all the information, and that's why Porsha was writing so hard for Phaedra and going against Candy, because Phaedra was the one telling Porsha how to live, how to sleep, how to eat, how to get by, the whole 9 yards basically. So now we know the reason why Porsha really went at Candy, even though Porsha gives reasons because of, you know, Candy said what she said about Phaedra or whatever, is really because Phaedra was spoon feeding Porsha information and getting her on her side, even though Shamia was just trying to be a good friend and warn her about Phaedra. So anyways, it comes out. And so basically everyone thinks that, you know, Phaedra and Porsha friendship is not real. It's just of a convenience. It's because, you know, nobody else wants to really film with them, so they got to film with each other. And basically, you know, Phaedra's running that friendship and clearly using Porsha to do her dirty work, basically. And everybody believes their friendship is of convenience, and, you know, Porsha believes everyone's jealous of their friendship, basically, but it's not the key. And, you know, and Shamia goes, well, we know Porsha brings out a young side, and Phaedra, you know, because, you know, Phaedra's like, you know, auntie or whatever. And then Candy goes, no, more like grandma. And everybody starts laughing. That shit was funny when she said that. When Kenya interrupted, like, no, not auntie. You mean great grandma? You mean grandma? What are you talking about? That shit was funny right there. When Kenya chimed in and was like, no, that's not it. And so everyone's laughing. Kenya's laughing her ass off. So basically, you know, Shamia says to Porsha, you better be careful who you sit next to. You better make sure your ID and your credit cards are locked up, because you know she's a fraudulent bitch. She steals people's identity. So basically, she did kind of steal Porsha's identity, because Porsha's identity was Phaedra's identity. Anything Phaedra said and did, Porsha was following and listening to it and believed it. And now the cake and the pudding is sitting on top of Porsha's face. She feels like an asshole. She feels like she's been used, basically. And so basically they was like, you know, Porsha, how come you don't have no loyalty to Shamia, basically? And not in them exact words. And, you know, Porsha was like, you know, it's not loyalty. I have a lot of friends. It's not that. You know, it's just that, you know, it's so hard. It's so difficult to be in a situation with Phaedra and be in a situation with Shamia. It's just so difficult, you know. And everyone's chiming in. Everybody's saying all this negative stuff. And I'm in the middle. Basically, the truth hurts. And you're in the middle because you've been fake with Shamia. And you haven't really been the true friend you should have been to Shamia, because you was being spoon fed by Phaedra, and that's your fault. So ain't nobody to blame but you, because you're an adult grown woman and you're a journalist. You know what I mean? So anyways, it is what it is. And Phaedra is the one that said that, Kandi was fucking Shamia, and nobody is, and so everybody's like, so it ain't even really, Porsha's fight. And Shamia was like, I would never put my friend on a hook, take the blame for something that I said, something that I did, and act like it never happened. What kind of friend does that? What kind of friend lets you take the brunt of everything and put you out on a platter, serve you on a silver platter, baby? So basically, it is what it is. It's terrible. It was just like, so grimy, so grimy, so grimy. And, Phaedra's just like, it is what it is. And Phaedra's like, it is what it is. And then, they asked Phaedra these questions like, so if you were close to Porsha, if you're close to Porsha, you were close to Kandi, and you guys were friends. So does that mean that you were sleeping with them? No, basically no. So then why do you believe just because Shamia is close to Todd and Kandi, why do you believe that they're sleeping together and all that bullshit? She was like, because they was just close. So everybody brings it up to Phaedra that she's close to everybody. She was close to them too. So basically Shamia was like, so you're thinking that people can't have genuine friendships and genuinely like each other, has to be sex involved? And then Phaedra looked stupid again. She was like, well, that could happen, basically. So basically then they asked Phaedra about the lesbian statement. How come, the question was, Phaedra, how come you didn't own up to the lesbian comment when they asked if about Kandi being a lesbian, and was on a camping trip. And Phaedra was like, they asked if Kandi was a lesbian, and she's not a lesbian because she basically a lesbian don't sleep with men, and a lesbian is someone that only sleeps with women. And basically that could be considered a correct term, basically, but we all know what she meant it. And then Andy was like, but didn't you say that they were sleeping together for years? And then Phaedra was like, no, I did not say that. I had no idea of that, basically. And so Candy's like, never slept with Shamia, that didn't happen. Shamia's like, I never slept with Kandi, basically. And then so you get to Shamia. So Shamia and Shamia and Phaedra starts to argue, whatever, and then Sheree sitting between them two, and it looks like Sheree wants to be like, damn, how come I didn't know the tea about the Africans? How come I didn't know this tea? Sheree sitting there like, damn, I could have exposed this on the show if I would have knew all this information between these girls, basically. And then Shamia Phaedra throws in that Shamia, hopefully your marriage lasts longer than it did last time, because it only lasts for a year, because basically Shamia was saying that I'm engaged now, baby, or whatever. And so and then Phaedra was like, oh, you be down there at the St. Regency place trying to sleep with anybody that would sleep with you, baby, trying to get you some mans, trying to get something, basically. Phaedra, you're busy. So anyway, Shamia was like, yeah, whatever, I'm engaged, bitch. Where's your man? I go write a letter to that motherfucker. And basically Apollo don't want no letter from Phaedra. All he wants is his property from Phaedra, and he wants the judge to divide their property, basically. That's what Apollo wants. He don't want no letter, unless it's just about his kids. So anyways, it is what it is. And it's just like, it just looked like Sheree was like, damn, I didn't know all this. I would have told this. I guess I'm not carrying a bone all the way. So anyways, Phaedra says her things. Phaedra goes, nobody wants to hear what that expired cheerleader says, because that expired cheerleader is of no purpose to me, girl. That was dirty when she said that. An expired cheerleader is of no purpose to me, girl. And then Shamia goes, oh, Southern Belle. One day you're a Southern Belle, and the next day and tomorrow you're a hookup. Basically talking about, Phaedra trying to hook up with the Africans and all that good stuff. And Andy was like, stop, this is getting ugly. Shamia was like, she's already ugly, basically. I was like, yeah. And then Shamia goes, stop. You look at your neighbor sitting to the left. You need to stop using them group coupons for your plastic surgery. And Porsha was like, oh, I can't believe you said that. And, Kenya's laughing her ass off. And, Andy's laughing too. Everyone's doing that little small laughing. It's just too much. So, and so then, that's when Porsha starts to cry, and Shamia goes, then Andy goes, why are you crying? This must be really tough for you, Porsha. And Shamia goes, it's because she's sitting next to that fraud. That's why she's crying. She's sitting next to the devil himself. And Candy was like, when me and Porsha was going through our bullshit, Shamia's never took my side. Shamia's never took my side or anything like that. Shamia stayed neutral, but Porsha didn't stay neutral. She chose Phaedra, yeah, because Phaedra was spoon feeding her. That's why she chose Phaedra. And plus, they was using group coupons to get plastic surgery. So is that some tea that Phaedra and Porsha get work done together? Is that why this season it focused a lot on getting like plastic surgery? The butt, the breast, and vagina rejuvenation and all that other good stuff. And that's why at the beginning of the reunion part 1 they talked about plastic surgery and who had it. Is that it? Because they be getting 2-for-1 coupons. It's almost like going to Stop and Shop. So anyways, fucking hate Stop and Shop. So anyways, only because I go there way too much. So I love the employees there. So anyways, it is what it is. And then Porsha says, I was only upset with Candy because of what, the bone lady said to me, Sheree, about, Candy going around talking about, Phaedra, sleeping with another man and being with another man. And then in mid-sentence, Porsha realized that it sounds stupid. I'm so glad she caught herself and she used some of that knowledge and said, you know what, I should have never said that from jump street. I should have minded my business. Yes, because what's her name? Phaedra do not go around defending you, Porsha. So anyways, and plus when she said about Porsha, she got a big head and no brain or something like that. Shit was too funny. So anyways, Porsha wished she would have never said anything. Porsha wished she would have kept her mouth closed. You know what I mean? Because then she wouldn't have the drama that she has now with freaking, what's her name? With Candy. So anyways, and so, Todd talks about, them spreading rumors about Candy and all that other good stuff. And then, Todd goes, they never say this stuff to my wife. And then, here we go again. Porsha chimes in and said, yes, I do. And then, Todd goes, yeah, but it's all lies. We don't believe anything you say, basically. So we all know it's lies, basically. It's just lies. Just lies. So basically, everything has been a lie. And, I guess, then it was funny when Porsha talks about she's a journalist and and Andy is like laughing and everybody's like, girl, you're on a gossip site, what are you talking about? And Porsha is like, why are you making fun of me, Andy? So it is what it is. And what else stuck out? There was a question brought up about the lesbian thing and all that other good stuff. So basically the question was like, these women are downing lesbians and all this other good stuff. And basically Porsha goes, I don't down the lesbians. I love the lesbians. The lesbians are like peace, love, and everything, basically. And so then that's when Kenya jumps in, because Kenya's not letting anybody get off the hook. If Shamia's not getting you, Kenya's getting you. Then Candy's getting you. So Kenya was like, oh, you wasn't saying that. And when your sermon, you're talking about it was wrong and bad. And then, Andy was like, yeah, I never asked you about that. And so quickly, Phaedra spoon-fed, Porsha was like, oh, that was 10 years ago. She grew. And then that's when Porsha kept saying it was 10 years ago. I grew and I have experience myself. So I love it. I love the lesbians, whatever. That's when Todd is like, oh, she finally admits it, that, you know, she's been sleeping with women. And she probably don't even want Todd, basically. So it is what it is. And so basically, so they go through that whole spill, and then it comes out that, you know, Porsha finally admits that, yes, she did kiss Candy twice. And then Candy is like, you know, you did offer to eat my pussy, suck my pussy dry, basically, or suck my pussy till it comes. And basically, Todd and Candy agrees with that. And then she also propositioned them and all that other good stuff. So basically, it's almost 30 minutes. I got to get the fuck up out of here. So anyways, it is what it is. And, you know, then Porsha was like, yo, Candy's vagina stinks. And Andy started laughing, was like, okay. And then, you know, Phaedra goes in like, you guys are always talking shit about me, talking about the streets are talking. So basically, Phaedra was talking about Mama Joyce and Candy's best friend. And so then basically we get down to the nitty gritty. It finally comes out that, you know, Porsha says, I'm not going to talk about of that situation with Candy because I received a deceased letter. And I can't talk about anything that has to do with Candy in that situation. So I'm going to let Phaedra talk about it, because she is the one that told me that Candy does that, basically. That Candy is the one that drug women and take them to her dungeon. So Candy was like, what? You're the one that said it? Everyone's like, oh my God, you're the one that said it. You're the one that did it. And it was like, it's like Porsha was just like, Porsha was under pressure. Porsha felt it looked bad. She mentioned her job, and she was like, you know, I got to save both jobs. And she was like, well, this is what happened. This is what Phaedra told me. So you know what? I can't even go down this road anymore, because Porsha did not want to keep lying on Candy, or she didn't know if it was true or not, because basically Porsha believed that it was true. And then Porsha goes, I asked you 2 days ago about the situation about Todd and Candy drugging women and all that other good stuff, basically, and you said it was true, whatever. So you know, Phaedra had another Phaedra's been looking dumb this whole, she's just been like, quiet. You know, a quiet mouth gets away, basically. But she had nothing to say, and everybody was on her. Andy was on her, Candy was on her, Shamia was reading her, and then Kenya would jump in when Phaedra thought she was getting somewhere. So it was like, okay. So basically now we know where Porsha got the rumor from. So Porsha believed Phaedra because Phaedra's been spoon feeding her, and Phaedra's a girl, and she chose Phaedra over her friend Shamia. So basically she's believing everything that Phaedra has said to her, and she's been riding hard for her. But Porsha thought twice about her job at this nation and her job on a housewife, and was like, yo, I'm gonna be put to the fire about this drugging thing. So you know what, I'm just gonna come clean. And she said it was true, so hey, we can just spill it right here. And that's what happened. And Andy's disappointed. He can't believe it. Nobody could believe that it was actually Phaedra that said it. So the streets be talking. Anyways, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. I had tons of things to say, but I got lost. Peace.